Welcome to the Talkin Trash Addiction Recovery Podcast. We suffered in silence. Now we recover out loud.
Noise here, huh? Come on, I can't hear you!
Good evening. Welcome to the Channel 4 6 o'clock news at 9. I'm your anchor, Stubby Cox, coming to you live from the Come By Chance Waffle House and Fish Cleaning Service. Today's top story we are following. A cross-eyed New Jersey woman is in custody today after attempting to remove her cheating husband's wedding tackle, but subsequently stabbing him in the thigh. She has been charged with a misdemeanor. Good evening, Thomas Jackson! That should be a long way to right. Welcome to episode 199. My name is Jim. I'm a very grateful alcoholic. And now to a man who's like a mushroom at a party. He's a fun guy, Timmy Snyder.
I am a fun guy to be with. Welcome to episode 199. Hockey's going on in the background. We like to keep it light. We like to have fun. We like to make a little noise out here. We recover out loud. That's what we do. That's why we do it. Let's get them on here. This is what we look at tonight. There's the boys. There's North. The North is going to be fun. Let's see what else we got going on. Let's do our preamble so we can have some fun.
This is our humble broadcast, where ethics and personal anonymity are of the utmost importance. We run this podcast as an act of service to those whose lives have been affected by addiction. We don't do it for profit or notoriety. We place principles before personalities. We benefit from this podcast just as much as anyone else. We all work programs and choose to sacrifice our own anonymity to spread the word that recovery is possible. We do this thing in an attempt to show, as living examples, that no matter how far down the scale we have gone, we will see how our experience can benefit others. That's the 9th step promise. It's our creed we abide by here on Talkin Trash. We feel called to uphold AA and NA principles. We firmly believe that you can only keep what you have by giving it away. Please join us in a moment of silence, followed by the Serenity Prayer.
God, grant us the serenity to accept the things we cannot change, the courage to change the things we can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
All right. Let's go around. Meet the team. Oh, Drish. What is going on tonight?
Come on now.
Everybody, welcome. Episode 199.
Welcome.
First on deck is William Douglas. Willie D.
Willie D, the place to be. Dial up Douglas.
Yay, Will's back. Hi, Will.
I was here the other day.
It's Will and he's not here.
I was here the other day.
Yeah, he was actually.
I know. He's 43. He lives down here by me. We're just trying to figure this thing out together. Next on deck is me, Tim Spider. I am 43 years old. I got that.
Hi, Tim.
Thank you. Look, I can do this. So
You're wearing an 8 ball.
I am. I'm wearing one. I probably did one too right before that. Next one, Dizzle for Shizzle. My nizzle is Bradley
McDizzle.
Brad, Brad, how's it going tonight, bud?
Oh, not bad. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good. Where do you go? Driving around?
Yeah, well, my vasectomy doesn't work, so that's what's driving around. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, you don't sound heterosexual, Brad.
No, not at all.
Next on deck is Jimmy the Idol. Num, 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 num,
Num, num, num, num, num.
Jimmy.
Captain
Jimmy
Crunch
is our.
Pizza.
He's my number 2. He's my number
I'm
1.
I've been called number 2 a lot.
Number 2 for sure. He's 61. Lives in Canada, where most of our people are at. And there you have it. That's the team of Talkin Trash. How are my friends doing today?
Wonderful.
Great.
199. Wow.
Right? It's kind of like
So it's like a bicentennial thing on Sunday, right?
Come on.
Yeah, but like I don't feel like doing anything. And Brad said, "Do I really sound like that?" Yes, Brad.
Yeah, you do.
Get it together, guys. But, I don't know what
Don't
to
wear
do
leather
with that.
pants in the rain.
Yeah, right. Well, that's a problem for him.
It is.
So let's real quick. What's going on in the world? Did I have the Stanley Cup playoffs are going on now? The Flyers are up 3-1 on the Penguins, and that's what it looks like. The whole league there. Me and Brad have a lot of fun here with the Canley Cup. I made it. Look at it instead of Jim.
I don't get it. Where's Yvonne Conway's name?
It's like Conway. All right, let's read a little
Dizzle. Oh,
Dizzle.
let's go back in time, shall we?
Hold on, I got it. This has an intro to it, so just be ready. Oh, not there. Yeah, no.
Well, we're moving on now to the east side, to a deluxe apartment in the sky. We're moving on now to the east side. We finally got a piece of the pie.
Georgia.
Oh yeah, not too much copyright infringement on that one.
I don't
There we
think that
go.
is a copyright infringement, but carry on.
Well, it was from the Jeffersons, man. I remember it. Okay, kids, make sure you're sitting comfortably in those chairs. For April 22nd, our daily Flapjack is New Soil, New Roots. Moments of perception can build into a lifetime of spiritual serenity, as I have excellent reason to know. Roots of reality supplanting the neurotic underbrush will hold fast despite the high winds of forces which would destroy us, or which we would use to destroy ourselves. That's as Billy sees it, page 173. I came into AA Green, a seedling quivering with exposed tap roots. Ooh, it was for survival, but it was a beginning. I stretched, developed, twisted, but with the help of others, my spirit eventually burst up from the roots. I was free, acted, withered, went inside, prayed, acted again, understood anew as one moment of perception struck. Up from my roots, spirit arms lengthened into strong green shoots. High spring servants stepping skyward. Here on earth, God unconditionally continued the legacy of higher love. My AA life put me on a different footing. My roots grasped a new soil. Alcoholics Anonymous, page 12. That's when the old deli or flapjack.
That's a tough one. I didn't understand a word of that goddamn thing.
Understand
Well,
it.
you're just starting. Okay, he's the gardening guy. Go.
This is a more I think an easier way. It's like the analogy, like building a house, you got to have a good foundation type thing, and therefore, if you don't have a good foundation, you can't do anything else. So you start off as a seedling or a taproot, or whatever, and you gotta establish yourself so that you can build up, so it'll support yourself.
There you go. So Will was paying attention. I'm shocked.
No, I don't know why. I just understood it for some reason.
it just rang through.
It's how many minutes into the show? Yeah,
I mean, it's
9 minutes in. He's doing well. Good job.
He's doing great.
Impressed.
Will,
Hey.
how are you doing, man? I miss you last time you weren't here.
Yeah, well, you're an idiot.
It was 2 shows ago we missed him when we had
I've been busy.
Charlotte on. He's a busy guy.
I've been
So
busy.
how about that the girl we had on our last show? That cracked me up. Like I just
Who
listen.
watches all shows like that? Too much idle time on your hand. We love you, but
don't you dare discourage her. She's doing
she's
thing.
amazing, and it was great to have somebody like, as we call a normie, Because people out there, hey, you don't realize the shit not only screwing up your own body and your own life, you're screwing up everybody else's too, right?
Yep, you're right.
And actually, I sent her a link yesterday for the PSR family meeting, so hopefully she attended that. But yeah, like there's great resources, but it's nice to see people out there.
Where we're moving.
It was my fault. No,
Yeah,
you're living with people with a disease, right?
Yep. And it's hard. It's hard to differentiate between the two. And the lines get blurred and everybody gets upset. And it's kind of where we fit in this podcasting world of addiction. All right, we do clean time around here. This is our clean time. We encourage you to drop yours in the comments as the show progresses. Here on Talking Trash, we honor the miracle of clean time. Clean time is the amount of time you've abstained from your drug of choice and you stop being a lunatic and messing everybody's lives up. All right, first on deck is Willie Douglas. Will's got 933 days today. Way to go, buddy boy. Keep her going. Oh, next on Jizzle is Tim Snyder. That's me. I have 1026, and that's my birthday. My birthday is also 1026. How about that? Oh, clean time. Bradley Mansfield. Brad couldn't make it tonight. Brad's got 1168. Way to go, buddy. Very proud of you. Thanks for everything you're doing for our show. We really appreciate you. Last but not least is Jimmy Livel. 1598. 2 away from 1600. I don't know if that means anything, but that's pretty cool. Way to go, Jay. All right, clean time. Drop yours in the comments, and we'll stop traffic and let the world know that you are clean. Yeah, we will.
Mm-hmm.
We do that. Jimmy, 1600 days on Friday. Wow.
Yeah, just like one day at a time. And then, like, you got our guest on site. 30 years, man.
I know.
Like, wow.
Like, but you know what? I talked to Art a couple times before this happened and pregame, and it's like, yeah, he's got 30 years of sobriety. It's like he's got 30 minutes because he's like he keeps it green, and like it opens that avenue where me and him can connect and talk. So like the dude does it right. There are a lot of people who are 50 years sober and blah, 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 but he's not one of them. He's definitely cool.
He always says it's a beautiful, and he'll say it today. It's a beautiful thing, and it really is. Like it was described as being in that pink cloud when you're in early sobriety.
Yep,
you can sustain that for your entire length of sobriety and your recovery. It's all about attitude. It's not like, yeah, I got 5 years, whatever, big fucking deal. Yeah, it is a deal, right? Yep. Because hey, every day's a freaking gift, and just live it. And
it is.
Yeah. There you go.
Blair now, boy, buddy.
Boy.
Love Bear. He came on here and he was strong and he was emotional. He was a great guest. Everybody we're having coming through, I identify with, or people identify with. We're just trying to keep it real across the board so everybody's happy. Let's see here. Our guest is Art Garfunkel. No, not Art Garfunkel. His name is Art G. He's been around. He's from Winnipeg. He's been sober for 30 years, married for 50 years, and alive for 70 almost. So we are excited to hear from him, and let's bring him in here and say hi to Art G. Hi, Art G.
Art G.
Hello, my friends. Hello.
There we go.
Welcome to the podcast, Art. How are you?
I'm good. I'm Art, and I'm a grateful alcoholic and a reasonably happy one.
Atta boy.
You said something in the beginning, like being 30 minutes. Yeah. That's what it's all about. It's about waking up every day and being in this program and being part of it. My buddy Jimmy there, he sends me like a book every morning about reflections and stuff like that. It takes me about 10 minutes to read it, but it starts my day.
Yeah,
it starts my day,
Jimmy,
it's a beautiful day.
Jimmy doesn't know that you can schedule things to be posted. But he just wakes up at 4:00 in the morning and does it anyway. So like it's
pretty much
above his purview.
Ding, Jimmy's here.
Jimmy loves recovery, and he's one of the realest people in recovery I've met. Like me and Jimmy are like, I connect with him. He's my boy, and like
you're my son. I'm your dad. There you go.
Either or. Yeah. But like, there's plenty of people in recovery and in life that we just are like, we don't connect for whatever reason, and that's okay. But like the four of us, we connect here. So we what the show is it's for people to tell their stories, and it's for us to talk about addiction and recovery. So what I'm going to do now is yield the floor over to my friend Art to tell his story, and then we'll take it from there.
Thank you, my friend. I always like to start off my whenever I speak anything with this poem that I got. I used to cover the mirrors up in my house, right? It's called The Man in the Glass. Mm-hmm. When you get what you want in your struggle for self, and the world makes you king for a day, just go to the mirror and look at yourself and see what that man has to say. For it isn't your father or mother or wife whose judgment upon you must pass. It's the fellows whose verdict counts most in your life is the one staring back from the glass. I never liked that guy back in the drinking days. Some people may think you're a straight shooting chum. Good actor, eh? And call you a wonderful guy. But the man in the glass says you're only a bum if you can't look him straight in the eye. He's the fellow to please. Never mind all the rest. For he's out with you clean up to the end. And you've passed the most dangerous, difficult test, if the man in the glass is your friend. You may fool the whole world down the pathway of life and get pats on the back as you pass, but your final reward is heartache and tears if you cheated the man in the glass. You know, when I first got the alcohol, the first thing was, can I be honest with myself? Yeah. Can I look in the mirror and say, yes, you're an alcoholic, and that's never going to change. You know, I was lucky enough, I'll give you a little bit of the past. Grew up on a farm, middle kid, labeled the black sheep, the whole bit, right? I had a little bit of church when I was up to 7 years old, and then they take me out of church, and the first thing that my sisters, who still had to go to church, told me is that I was going to go to hell. And so I decided I'd do a good job, right? And I went out, and I wasn't a good person. I learned very quickly to be selfish, self-centered, and to look after myself. And my father preached that, nobody's going to look after you. You got to look after yourself. And I went out to prove that to the world. Yeah. And the drinking started slowly. If you read A Vision for You in the book, it starts out with buddies and friends and having a good time and this and that, and eventually goes to those buddies leave and you're left by yourself and you're all alone. And at the bottom of that reading, it says, unhappy drinkers who read this page will understand. I remember when I read that and went, holy shit. I knew exactly what they were talking about.
Yeah, me too.
The four horsemen, yep. Waking up every morning with them going in your head, and the only thing that could stop them was to have another drink, yep. Right? To go back to that place you were before. And every day you end up in the same place, drunk, passed out, wake up going for the next day, And that last paragraph in A Vision for You, it talks about not being able to live with it, not being able to live without it, and wishing for the end. Mm-hmm. And that's what happened to me. The last night I drank, I was on a bit of a tear. I'd been looking after my father who had cancer, and they told me he was dying. And I wasn't going to drink that day. I got up the morning, and I'd said to myself, my life's got to change. Mm-hmm. So I shaved off my mustache. And like her, like Hercules, or he shaved off, he cut his hair.
That's Samson, the Bible.
It's so funny, the insanity of thoughts that you can have. Samson and Delilah, yeah?
Yes, and, Delilah,
it's amazing where you end up.
Yep.
But I was riding a snowmobile, and I kind of crashed it and got it running, and I was going across this field, and I looked up, and I said, God, I want out. And, you know what I mean. I didn't mean, I wanted to go to the detox. Yeah, like that, my prayer was answered. Within 3 hours, I was in the worst detox in the city of Winnipeg, looking out the window, going, "What just happened?
Yeah,
what's going on?
That escalated quickly."
And then I walk in the bathroom and I look at myself. My face is all beat up. I look like I've been in a bar, Pete. bar fight, right? Hug across the thing, and I go, I look just like these people. What happened? Oh my God. I go out and I walk around all night, and I'm sitting on this couch in the morning, and this guy comes by that I only seen him once. He came by and he looked at me and he said, "Are you looking for the answers?" And I said, "Yes." And he went over and he picked up the big book. He brought it over to me. And of course, I'm too smart to start at the beginning. I go right to there. Right to there is a solution, right? You know, I can remember the first paragraph, right? 1,000 people have found the answer. I didn't know what answer they found, but it was a lot better than what I was doing, standing in that detox looking like one of these people, right? And then next paragraph talked about where these people come from. Everywhere, all over the world, the top, the bottom, you know, and it's like, okay, well, I'm in there somewhere. And then that last paragraph, and I love that last paragraph. Tremendous fact for every one of us is we have found a common solution. We have a way out which we can absolutely agree in, which you can join in brotherly and harmonious action. This is the great news this book carries to those who suffer from alcoholism. Whoa, you know? Yeah. And then you turn the page. Everything's gravy on that page. You turn the page and it says, but idiot, this is what you've been doing. You've been screwing with anybody that cares anything about you, anybody that loves you. You made your kids crazy, or you know, you made your wife crazy, and it's like, oh, oh no. So the truth is out there. Yep. I kept reading that chapter, and before I got to the end of that chapter, I knew. There's a paragraph in there. I call it the Find Me paragraph with Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde in it.
Oh yeah.
It says the guy that goes to sleep so drunk he should sleep the clock around, but he's up early the next morning looking for the bottle he cannot find. Every day, man.
Every day.
Where did I put that thing? Look for hours and finally find it, and there's, you know, this much in the bottom and drink it, and I'm saved.
I would be convinced that there was a bottle waiting for me the next morning. Oh, when I wake up, it'll be there. Never there, for whatever reason.
I never knew why I couldn't have a liquor cabinet. Everybody else I knew had a liquor cabinet. I couldn't have a liquor cabinet because once I opened it up, I drank the whole thing.
Right.
You know, lessons the beer experiment. There was a beer strike in Manitoba, so I decided to go to Ontario and fill up my half ton with beer. I don't know how many 22 fours I brought back, and I'm going to be a hero with all my buddies, and I pass them out and collect the money. I keep about 10 myself, and I'm thinking I got beer for the summer. This is good. 2 weeks later, I'm drinking the last beer.
And it's warm. It was left outside.
I knew.
Skunk, but that's what it is. You know?
I knew right there. I knew. So I got to control it by the amount I bought, and that's what I did. But every now and then, some Eskimo would come by with an extra bottle, and I'd get drunker than I was supposed to, right? You know, things like that would always happen. But I cruised along. I cruised right along into my 30s, right? And then one day the wife said, you know, you're going to kill yourself if you keep drinking like that. And so she took the kids and she left. I remember thinking the whole world has come to an end. Oh, my God, what am I going to do? Yep. And so I go over to where she's gone to her mom and dad's, and I go over there and I convince her, you know, I might be drinking a little too much. I'll cut that down, but we got a whole lot of other problems. You know, we'll work that out, and I'll get a real job, right? And things will be better. So I did. I went and got a real job. I was a guy that worked, you know, mostly seasonal, 12-hour days, 6 days a week.
Yep.
So I got a job from midnight till noon, 6 days a week.
Not good.
But hey, I was making money. Life was good. I cut down my drinking a little bit.
Yeah.
But what I found out is that if you get off at 11 o'clock in the morning, you can go to the LC, you know, drink a half a Mickey on the way home, and you'll sleep real good.
Oh yeah.
Nobody will know it. The kids are in school. The wife's at work. When they get home,
nobody will know, right?
Yeah, and that's the point where my drinking went underground. And once my drinking went underground, and I started hiding it and sneaking it, and going places where I didn't know anybody, and mostly drinking alone. But then I get to the end, and that last year of drinking, I almost did myself in twice. And I got to tell you, the first time was when I crashed that. The second time was when I crashed that skidoo and ended up in the detox. The time before that, I had a little company going, and I had a loader. And of course, you can't go pushing with the loader without having a Mickey, right? And so I get the Mickey, and off I go, and I go to work. And I've hired an alcoholic to work for me. Of course, right? You want to.
Of course.
And I paid him in beer. So that meant I had access 24/7. Right?
Sure.
It was all worked out around alcohol the whole life, right? Everything I did.
Yep.
Right. And so I take this loader up and I do this job, and he's there drinking Hutterite wine, and so I get into the Hutterite wine. And the next thing I remember my wife shaking me. I'm on the couch, and she says, "There's something sticking out of your head." I says, "What?" Sticking out of my head. "There's something out of your head." "Well, pull it out." "No, you got to go to the doctor." "No, pull it out." So she goes and gets spare pliers, and she pulls a 2-inch roofing nail out of the top of my head. Right?
Like Happy Gilmore.
Right? So I figure out that I'd come home with this loader, went to get out, tripped and fell 6 feet and landed on a nail, and somehow crawled to that house. But the craziest and the most insane thing about it all? When she had the peroxide out and she was scrubbing that injury, all I was thinking, when is this woman going to go to bed so I can find that bottle? And I got up the next day and took a hammer to the loader because there was this little thing sticking out that probably tripped me, right? And that was its fault.
Yeah, that's it.
But lucky that last time I got there and I woke up, and I was lucky enough. There was a lady in there, wise lady, weekend lady came in. She had about 20 years sober, and she just spotted me right away. Came over and sat with me and bummed a cigarette, of course, and started telling me her story. And there was an instant trust. I could trust there was something there that she had. And that night, I remember in the AA they had a meeting. And I said, "Well, who's these AA?" I knew nothing about AA. Who are these guys? And I said, and they said, "Oh, well, they're AA. Why were they coming here?" And I said, "Well, they just come here." And they said, "Well, who's paying them?" "Well, nobody pays them. They just come here." And I go, who would come to this place without getting paid? And then that guy sits down and he says the craziest thing. He says, "I'm happy I'm not drinking." And I go, "Yeah, right. Who is this guy?"
Bullshit.
And so then I go back to the book. I read some more. I'm convinced. I find the story in the book that Fred's story, and one of the lines in the Fred story says that spiritual principles will solve all your problems. And that was a very important line in the book to me, and it still is today, that the way I thought, what I did, where I went, was all based on one thing: me.
Yeah.
Most selfish thing I ever did in my life was pick up that bottle and have a drink. I didn't even convince myself I was drinking for you, because I was a better guy when I was drinking, right?
Yep.
These are the lies that I told myself. Then when we get to how it works, and it says, "Rarely have we seen a person fail or thoroughly follow our path." That was a challenge. That was a challenge to me that said, "Okay, I'm going to do this thing." When they said, "Are you willing to go to any length to get it?" I said yes. When it said in step 2 that that I was insane, I said yes. And I said, "There's got to be something out there that can help me." I started going to these AA meetings, and I realized that these people were talking about the things I wanted to talk about all my life. They want to talk about their feelings and what was going on in their life. And I went, I belong.
Yeah.
So I went AA crazy, right?
Oh,
I wasn't working, and I would get up in the morning, and I'd go to like 4 in-person meetings a day, sometimes 5. There's 50 groups in the city. I went to 48 of them. There was a woman's group and a gay group, so I didn't go to them, but the other 48 I went to, right?
Yeah.
Right. And one of those, one of the promises, you will truly know how to handle situations that used to baffle me. One of my smart sponsors said to me one day, "Your first thought is always an alcoholic thought. Have a second thought," right? So I was about 2.5 years sober, and I get a call. My sister died in a horrendous accident in California. Her and two high school students got swept in by a rogue wave and drowned. And I remember the first thought was, well, here's a good reason to drink.
Oh yeah. Yep.
But the second thought came and said, well, that's not going to do any good. So what did I do? I got in my car and I went to a meeting and I talked to those people. And by the end of that meeting, I knew what to do. I got on an airplane, flew to Calgary, got there, helped her husband, helped the kids. And never once did I start thinking about myself and my loss. Instead, I said to myself that I guess God needed a little angel. And that's what she was, right? So there's many things, and there's many deaths, and there's many things that have happened in my life. But I intuitively know how to handle situations that used to baffle me. And it's because of those 12 steps in that book. Yeah. And I believe, I'm not a thumper. I suppose I know the book.
Sure.
But what I really am is a person that believes those steps can help anyone. Mm-hmm. Right? Al-Anon uses them. NA uses them. It's the principles that are in each and every one of those steps that make the difference. And when that lady at the detox said to me, do you believe in God? And I said, that's how I got here, because that's how I figured I got there. God was doing it to me again, right? And she said, well, don't worry about that. But the next day when she came in and she started talking to me, I said, well, I'll give this God thing a chance. And that's what I did. And I asked her, where are we going to find this God? She said, well, God works through people. So I went and I started listening. And I went to all those meetings and I found that guy in the room that he's got something going on. He's calm, he's relaxed. And I hear a story and go, holy man, isn't that something? I remember one time I was probably about 9 months sober. I had a fight with a wife, and out I go, jump in my truck, and I'm leaving like I always did, run away. And I go sitting down the back lane, and I get out, and I say to myself, they'd never know if I went drinking.
Yeah.
And then I said to myself, I'd know.
Yeah.
Right?
True.
And so, that was that second thought, right? Remember another time, me and my beautiful wife were having a fight, and I left, and I went to the meeting, and I'm sitting outside in the car, and my buddy comes by, and are you going to I'm not going to that meeting, I'm mad. And I told him all about what had gone on, that my wife, somehow, she makes me mad, and she gets mad, and then an hour later, she's not mad anymore. There's something, how can she be like that? So I go to this other meeting, and the guy says to me, he says, well, son, for the last 20 years, you've been drinking your emotions into a bottle. She's been learning how to deal with them. Well, they go between the legs again, and they come back home. It's a miracle. One of the important things is family, and I got to say family is important to me. When I came home, I sat down with a book and read the family after to them, and they all said, yes, Dad, this is good for you, but we don't want nothing to do with it. But they knew that I need to go to these meetings, and they never, ever stopped me from going to these meetings.
Yeah.
Wherever I travel, when I was drinking, I had three favorite things I did. I liked to dance, I liked to ride motorcycles, and I liked to downhill ski. I quit dancing. I fell out on the floor one night, got embarrassed, so I quit dancing.
No.
Got in trouble riding my motorcycle, right? Went skiing, get pissed, wipe out, quit skiing. When I got sober, the first conference we went to, me and my wife danced to the last dance. And every dance we go to now, we dance to the last dance. She's not trying to get me out of the door at 11 o'clock at night because I'm getting too drunk to get home, right? And the world changed, and they wanted me home. Yeah. And I wanted to be home. And for the first time in my life, my eyes opened up, and I saw what I had. I had two beautiful teenage kids and a beautiful wife that will look after me, and our world began to change. I took them to conferences. I remember the first conference, the second conference we went to, I took my kids, and there was an open mic. And me and my wife were standing back, and we hear this voice, and we look up, we recognize it. My kids are standing at the mic, thanking Alcoholics Anonymous for giving their father back. Wow. I mean, these are moments that you can't get back.
No.
And now the greatest thing that Alcoholics Anonymous has given me is in the beginning of the 12th step. I get to watch other people recover. I have a whole host of friends. I had friends back then, but they're all gone. I don't see any of those people.
Yeah.
But the people I met in Alcoholics Anonymous, I've known people for 30 years. And I can call them up at any time and say, hey, can you give me a hand? I'm having a little bit of trouble. I can phone them up and say, I'm coming to Regina. Hey, you want to go out for supper? And sure as heck, there's some of them. When Zoom came along, when I retired, I got into a little bit of a depression. I was about 26, maybe 20 years sober, and things weren't going so well, right? But then Zoom came along. And all of a sudden, I'm sitting at home, and my wife had gone to live at her mom and dad's to look after her father. He was dying. And she was there, living there, and I was living at home. I only saw her once a week. I mean, what a time to start drinking, eh? Depressed, alone.
Yeah.
I could have got away with it. But the thought never came to my mind. Wow. The thought has been removed. I have put in God between me and the bottle. Yeah. And when I look up and see I'm anywhere and there's bottles over there, I don't even see them anymore. Yeah. They mean absolutely nothing to me.
Yeah.
In sobriety, I had a career as a politician for 8 years. I was a politician. If you ever been in politics, you'll know that the alcohol flows like water, right?
Makes sense.
Never once did I ever want to have that. It's not who I am. It's just the problem has been removed, and it's been removed because of this program. Yeah. Because of what I believe in. I absolutely believe in Alcoholics Anonymous, and I've seen people grow. I got one right here. Got a buddy right here. I've seen him grow over time, right? That's the pleasures that life gives to me. And I go to a meeting every day. I love my meetings. Every morning I get up. I read Jimmy's text, and then I go to a meeting, right? And sometimes I see Jimmy at that meeting.
Depends
what we have to do is,
and he's always got that thing, that pull.
Yep.
Anyway, I must have talked long enough already.
No, I have questions for you. People are engaged.
A couple minutes left.
Ready to go. So a couple of minutes.
here's the question.
But I do love Alcoholics Anonymous 100%, and I believe.
You're in good company here for sure. This guy, Carl, asked, are there things about modern AA that you struggle with or disagree with? Is there a modern AA, Jimmy? Is there?
Well, I wouldn't say. Well, I don't know, Art. What do you think? It's evolved, right? Now they have the plain language.
Everything's involved. And I was just going to say a few minutes ago that some people, they say it's only one book and only one thing. I say anything that I can learn from. Anything I get, any reflections, something that's going to make me grow spiritually, I look at.
Yep.
Right? And what was the old saying when you first got here? Take what you need and put the rest on the shelf, and someday you'll come by and you'll pick it off the shelf and you'll use it.
There's
no restriction. There's no rules. There's no rules here.
Oh, no. It's good. Yeah, I mean, people we have our whole we have people watching right now. Oh, I forgot about the rehabs, Jimmy. Let's say hi to our.
Okay, that people. Only 40 minutes in.
Jimmy.
Alrighty there, treatment centers. Ocean Mammoth Care, Destination Recovery, Serenity Treatment Center, Supreme Wellness, New Hope Rehabilitation, Newark Salivation Army, and Prairie Sky Recovery Center.
Right. Welcome everybody to the program.
Welcome to the program.
What my segue, rehab brought that up, is we have people watching in early rehab right now, early recovery rather, and they don't, what we see is you get discharged from rehab, you go to a sober living, and you go to AA, and that's the only thing that I've ever experienced. And there's such a powerful thing for these guys that are listening right now to you that's 30 years sober. How did you get to this point? And the message that you're relaying is so important. And these people are hearing you in a state where like maybe they wouldn't have heard you a month ago. But now we have people in this. Brad said, take what you need and leave the rest behind. So
Thank you, Brad.
a couple other questions here. Steve Pillar, how are you taking through the steps and how quickly?
That's for you, Art. That's your question.
Well, the stars lined up for me. That's how it worked, right? When I got out of the treatment center, my buddy that was in my wedding party that had got sober 10 years before me came and seen me. And he just happened to be in a big book study group. And he invited me over to his place twice a week. I'd go over there and we go through that book one paragraph at a time. And not one time did he say, this is how it is. He said, this is what this means to me. Yeah. And it became, in every word in that book, became to mean something to me. Yeah. I went at it with the idea that I was like these people, right? I didn't criticize it. I joined it, and that buddy, I hadn't talked to him in 10 years because he quit drinking. How can you trust somebody that quits drinking? Yeah. And when he first went into treatment, he had hair down to his waist, a beard down to his belly button, and he looked like some kind of monster. Yeah. When he came to see me at the treatment center, he was clean shaven, his eyes were shining, and he had a life going on. And I wanted, we thought this guy was going to the nut house. That's it. We had pictured him going to the nut house, right? We were going to take him there one day. Yeah. But he got sober and his life turned around. And if Al could do it, I could do it.
I could do it.
He had a poster in his house with a picture of Einstein that said, all I want to know is what God knows. That's Einstein, man. One of the smartest people in history. Yeah. I mean, who might argue with that, right?
I defer to the experts.
And I did the steps. I went to a big book study group and I did the steps, right? That's what I did. I did them in the order they're in, out of the book.
I'll segue right into this question from Kelly. What's something people overcomplicate about the steps?
What do people overcomplicate about the steps? I think the overcomplication is to take yourself too damn seriously.
Yep. Yeah. Rule 61. Yep.
Yeah, 61. I mean, do people they do 1, 2, 3 drink, 1, 2, 3 drink, that whole thing?
Yeah, I saw the question. We get too serious. It's something that we have to take our time and look at and become part of. Yeah. The steps become part of us as we grow through them.
It's a set of spiritual principles of what it is, Jimmy, right?
Yeah. And being honest with yourself. For me, when I honestly, truly did the steps when I was in treatment, it was like, this is the real me. And it was like, holy shit. It took me 57 years to pull my head out of my ass. Yeah. And for that whole time, I was just bullshit. I thought I was getting like, oh, I'm better than everybody else. Look what I've done. Yeah. No, I'm a drunk. Plain and simple, full stop. I want to get better. How do I do it? Help. I surrendered. I joined the winning team. Yep. That's all I did.
It's step one. It's admitting that you are powerless over this. And that's what we get hung up on. It's so ridiculous that we're afraid to be exposed. We're afraid of what people will think about us. And these things that have nothing to do with our recovery. Let's have another question for you from Timothy R. What's the line between helping someone and enabling them? Tim.
Ooh. You go first, Art.
I mean, these are four.
Well, for me, is allowing you to think that I'm a crutch.
Yeah.
I'm not a crutch. I'm just a guy that got sober. I have my own story. This is what I did. This is what I came to believe. And as soon as I start allowing people to say, oh, what about this? What about that?
Agreed. Couldn't agree more with you on that one. Mm-hmm. There isn't a handout and a handout.
I got to cough on here, guys, and hang on for a second.
You're good. I just we talk about it all the time, enabling people, and where's that line drawn?
Well,
Will,
it's when somebody will say, "Hey, I need $50," and it's like, okay, what are you gonna like? And I see
right,
it
but
all the
like,
time. Okay, like, are you gonna like? Is it to fill up your tank of gas to go to work or to find a job? Or are you gonna buy a bottle or some drugs, right?
right,
And
it's
you really
handout
have to
versus handout.
exactly. And like I've been had the wool pull over my eyes many a time, but
But
you learn.
Jimmy, I've watched you grow in that area. I watched you through time. The longer you're sober, the more I think the more clarity you have, and you have the gift of perspective, right? So you can kind
Yeah.
of you can look back with clear, sober eyes and appreciate things differently. And to watch you, I know Joe, I know the whole thing with you, but like
Yeah.
you have gained this insight that only comes with being sober 4 years.
And old and
and old.
old.
You're still a
And a
handsome
lot of
guy though.
lessons.
A lot of
Listen,
lessons.
well,
Will,
You know, one of the things that we have to avoid is thinking that we're somebody's savior.
right.
Oh yeah,
Right. A
yep.
lot
I've
of the
been there.
times
Yeah,
you think, oh well, I'll fix them. I'll straighten them out. That's not what our job is. Our
yep,
job is just to carry the message,
yeah,
and the message is God could and would if He were sought.
yeah.
You know, the
Here.
God of your understanding. You
Yep.
know, if I kind of sugarcoat that and say, oh well, don't worry about that or don't worry about this, that's not my job. This is what
Right.
I did. And if you want that, and that's what it says in the book, you want what we have, do what you do.
Yeah.
And if you don't do what you do, then you're probably not going to get the same cake, right?
Yeah.
Yep.
True indeed. True indeed. Yeah. I identify with you so much because nobody comes on 30 years and says, I didn't do the steps, no higher power, I got this thing. Everybody that comes on with 20, 30, whatever years, they've gone through the steps. They have this perspective that sounds healthy. Like you sound like you know where your role is and where it isn't, even at your age and your seniority. And it's just nice to see it. It's encouraging for me as someone in early recovery to see the lasting impacts. Like I just said, I saw it with Jimmy. I've seen it with Will and Brad. We're all changing. We're all evolving, especially in this world, in this recovery data information world we live in. Everything's changing and everything's different than it was yesterday. So like, it's so important that when people like Art speak, people like me and Will, we need to listen because like it's easy to get off track. It's easy to get lazy. I'm guilty of that myself, and Will and I, whatever with you. So like,
I remember the first time someone said to me that analyst paralysis. That if you try to take this apart, you end up just getting stalled out.
you're absolutely
It's very
right.
simple. What does God want for me? To stay sober and help other adults achieve sobriety. And the only way I can do that is by doing the steps, practicing these principles, and coming out the other side a different human being. I'm not the guy that got here 30 years ago. That guy's gone. A new guy exists. Guy that actually cares about people and wants to do what he can to help people, right?
Yep.
But I also know that I'm not a savior, that I'm not here to preach to you or anybody else. I'm here to say that this program works if you do it with all your heart. If you go at it and say, okay, I'm going to do this thing. I'm not going to be scared. I mean, the best word in step 4 is what? Fearless. Do it without fear, because whatever you find isn't going to hurt you, because it's the truth.
Yeah, I've done 4 steps. I've done 2 4 steps in my life, and it was just me whining and complaining. Looking back, I turned it into blaming everybody else. Like, oh, like it's such a easy thing in early recovery to blame everybody else for your plight. And that's where we get tripped up because we're not owning our shit and we're not fixing it. And it's a plague out there. Art, so you live in around the Winnipeg area. Jimmy said he's in rural Winnipeg, 30 minutes north. I'm thinking like if I'm in Philly and I go 30 minutes north, I'm still in Philly. So like I don't really understand what rural.
That's from the edge of the city.
Gotcha. Okay, so Winnipeg is it's weird. It's like the only I don't even know what Winnipeg is. I know the Jets are there. I know the Bombers are there. How big is Winnipeg?
Winnipeg's about 1 million.
Oh no shit!
It's the Portage in Maine is the coldest place in Canada
and windiest.
Yeah.
When I worked, I had this job on a garbage truck. I was there at 4:00 in the morning, 6 days a week, winter and summer, at the coldest place. And now, I'm getting old. I can't stand that anymore.
Oh, I know. I can't. I don't know how you guys do it up there. I told Art before, I lived in Jersey and we had 4 seasons. It got cold, but it wasn't like that. And I spent some time in Maine, and you could spit and it would explode before it hits the ground because your spit freezes. I don't know what the hell's going on up there. So it's pretty intense. Kelly St. John has a good question. How has your understanding of a higher power changed over time? That's a good question.
It's always changing. It's always changing. It's always growing because, and that's what it says in the, we're it's not about perfection, not knowing everything that I know. It's about listening to other people and understanding how and so that increases my understanding of the power that I believe in.
Yeah.
And when things happen out there, there's these miracles happen when something's going wrong, and the right person comes along in the right time. And I go, thank you. There's a lot of thank yous. It says it on my hat. Please and thank you.
Very polite hat.
Very, very Canadian.
That's Canadian. Yeah. That's what it is. It's please help me. And thank you that you did.
We say it all the time.
I keep it very simple. To me, God is everything, and everywhere, in every tree, in every blade of grass, in every animal, and every person, right? And so understanding it, I don't have to understand it. I just have to know.
Yep.
I just have to know.
I think we're in the Matrix, but there's probably a God after that. So it's everybody has their own thing. But here's what I'm legitimately afraid of. I'm afraid of guys like Art disappearing as time goes on because he's such a genuine recovery advocate, right? And his story it resonates with people who are like-minded. So I'm afraid that AA is going to fade off and they're going to switch to a new PC thing and people are going to turn into assholes. I really hope that doesn't happen, but it's
evolved, and I'm not sure Art how your take on it is. I came into the program 20 years ago and it was just alcoholics, and now you go there and I'm a drug addicted alcoholic. But I always say addiction's addictions. I'm not sure what your take on that is, but it's evolving, right? We don't turn people away. But
Jimmy, Art is much smarter than you. So
I'll shut the hell up. Yes, thank you.
No, you're right. Jimmy's.
I go with the responsibility declaration. I'm responsible when anyone anywhere reaches out for help.
Yep.
I want the hand of AA to be there, and it doesn't say just a person that's a drunk or anything else.
Yeah.
It says that I want to go out into the world and I'm responsible to help people, not hinder people anymore. Right. It doesn't matter what your choice is. I went through the cocaine benches and they're the same as alcohol. Once you open up the pack, you go to the end, right?
Absolutely.
That's the way it is.
Absolutely.
There's no difference, And the only reason I ever did those drugs is so I could drink more. Yeah. I had a buddy that used to say, I'd buy $1,000 worth of cocaine so I could drink another 40 ounces of booze. And that's what it was, because it was the booze that I wanted to keep going. I wanted to keep that buzz. The coke would take away a little bit, but only for a little bit, and it was too expensive and too hard to get. I could just drive to the LC at any time, right?
Yeah, exactly. It's so funny, man. You are a true alcoholic. But you're also, I'm not saying what you are and what you aren't, but I can just tell that you're also like Jimmy in a way where you're accepting of everybody in a way that because if you're not, you're putting yourself on a pedestal and you think you're better than people, and that destroys the whole spirit of the program. But with what you're doing, man, I you can tell that it means something to you. It changed you, and you believe in it. And I've heard this story 50 times, not quite as like this, but it never is. And to have you come on here and share a story of hope, from where you're standing, it's
one of my favorite paragraphs in this book is this one.
Should I be reading the paragraph? What paragraph?
What paragraph?
What were you saying, Art? One of your favorite?
Well, paragraph is, yes, there is a substitute, and it's vastly more than that. It's a fellowship in Alcoholics Anonymous. There you'll be released from care, boredom, and worry. Your imagination will be fired. Your life will mean something at last. The most satisfactory years of your life lie ahead of you. I began to live when I got sober. I quit living.
Right.
I quit living when I was drinking. When I got sober, I didn't hide in the house. I didn't go get away from people. I went out there and found the people in my world that I wanted to be around. And they were all over. I've been to meetings in every province, quite a few states. Right. I went to 3 world conventions where there was thousands of people saying the Serenity Prayer. Yeah. The power in that is just so great.
Yep.
And now I know people when I went to Vancouver, I met people from England that I'd met on Zoom, from California, from Texas, from Florida. This hat came from Florida. A buddy of mine brought me this hat from Florida, and I'd only met him on Zoom. Right? Yeah. I mean, those are the things that happen in your life. You know, and in that paragraph on the step 12, I'm going to just read it if you'll give me a second. Working with others.
Take your time.
I mean, this is what it's all about. Life will take on new meaning. To watch people recover, to see them help others, to watch loneliness vanish, to see the fellowship grow up about you. To have a host of friends. This is an experience you must not miss. We know you will not want to miss it. Frequent contact with newcomers and with each other is a bright spot of our lives. And here we are today. I'm meeting new people and new friends, and my world is getting bigger again. I mean, whoa.
Well, you're part of our family for sure.
Well, one thing I really admire about Art is number one, his length of sobriety, how long he's been in the program, and his wife. I've met Roxy only once, and him and Roxy, they drove out to Vancouver and they stopped in Regina. We broke bread together, and they had this little shaggin' wagon, and it was hilarious. But they're like this 2 teenagers, they're holding hands, and this. She's put up with how many years of his active addiction,
30,
but stood by him. And he is so devoted to Roxy. Like, she was her father's caregiver until he passed. I believe it was last year, Art, her dad.
Yeah.
And Art would talk every meeting that he'd always say, "Oh, I'm going to see Roxy this weekend." He'd be so excited about it. And here's a guy who's married 50 years. I've seen people who married 5 years and it's like, "Oh, I can't get with a guy looking for a new wife." Here's a guy who just treats his wife like they just got married, and he looks at his recovery like he just walked in the door. Like he just wants more, and he wants to give back so much, and that's why I admire this young man so much.
To me, I can feel his worth and his words. Not that worth. That's the wrong way to describe it. It's not bullshit.
He can feel you.
He can feel me for sure. No. Hey, Will, are you all right? What's going on with you?
Hey, Will, where are you?
Hey, Will.
Hi.
What do you have to say to Art here?
You remind me a lot. I understand. You remind me of when they say when I first started going to NA, been a while ago. So I mean, it's kind of like, it is kind of like when you guys were saying, is the AA and NA and all that going to
change,
grow differently or whatever?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you're the type of person that I'm used to listening to. I mean, that I get stuff from that. When I go to meetings now, it's like this is my meeting now. Is on here. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Because I mean, it's so. I mean, the world has changed. So,
COVID definitely did it. Brian says, "Hi, Will." Brian loves Will. COVID changed everything. We realized that we could do things remotely.
But one thing that never changed, my friends, is the principles of the program. They're exactly as the same.
They're tested and true, and they've they've saved more lives than anything out there. So like we're pro AA, but we're also not anti AA. We're not anti anything. We're not pro anything. Just don't put fentanyl in your arm and die and make everybody upset when it doesn't have to happen. We're trying to avoid that kind of stuff. It won't fentanyl. So it's just like your message, it transcends generations. It transcends borders. People resonate with that message that you have, and it's true. I mean, it's not antiquated. It's been around this long because it works. So people can pick it. Overanalyze it, like Art said earlier. We can overanalyze anything, right? So.
And having 30 years of recovery, I've seen people after 20 years, it's like, oh yeah, I got it. He attends me at every meeting. Hello, my friends. And it's a beautiful thing. Like, he is just so passionate about recovery.
Yeah.
And he really wants to see other people succeed and give back to what was given so freely, and to see people just get better, right?
Yeah,
it can be done. It can be done.
I wasn't gonna do this, but I'd like to give you a shot. This is my son wrote on my 26th birthday when I was getting my cake. He lives in Ottawa. It says, "Dear Dad, I just want to take a moment to tell you how proud I am of you to celebrate 26 years of sobriety. It's an incredible accomplishment and a treatment to your strength and dedication. I know that the road to recovery wasn't always easy. There were times when you probably wanted to give up, but you kept going, and you've come so far. Your sobriety has not only changed your life, but has also had a ripple effect on all of us. Your example has inspired me and has made me realize that no matter how difficult things may seem, it's always possible to turn things around. I'm grateful to have you as my dad, and thank you for the person you've become. You are a role model and inspiration to me. I'm so proud to call you my dad." It took him 26 years to write that, but I'm telling you guys, it just did me in, and I have this letter in my book wherever I go. It's always right there, close to my heart. There's a ripple effect to drinking, and there's a ripple effect to sobriety. Mm-hmm. If you're in recovery and you're trying to grow every day, then there's an effect to that. It affects the world around you, right? Yep. And it's so important that ripple in the water, when you throw a pebble and there's a ripple, right? And that ripple can keep going and it can spread across the world, just like what you guys are doing right now. Yeah. You found something that you loved. You found each other, and you're spreading it, and it's growing. And you're reaching out to people. I mean, it don't get better than that, guys.
It really doesn't. Mm-hmm. Bethany, I'm not even trying. Oh, Beth, Anya, whatever. That works for one, doesn't work for everyone. Journey is unique. It's up to us to hold space for others with an open mind and respect. Absolutely. I mean, that's
everybody's journey is different.
That could be our creed right there. But like, I am so afraid of turning somebody off. Because I've seen disastrous things happen when people have done that. So like we tread very lightly here as far as like what like our core values are. But I mean, it just comes down to we want to help people, and we want to do it in a pure way that's not adjusted in any way that is shady or whatever. So like we have this thing going, and it's easy to be like, I'm a big shot. Look at me. I'm on TV twice a week. It's easy to get in that mindset. That's where you put it's hard to do something like this and not put us like we showcase us, but it's more of a joke than anything. I mean, there's no pedestals.
I am not a joke.
You're not a joke. You're cool. But like we're all equals here. There's no competition. It's just a fun thing that we do, and it helps a lot of people, and we're grateful for that.
Well, this was not a platform like a podcast wasn't even thought of. Well, of course, even 10 years ago, but it's a great platform to reach, especially the treatment centers, the people that are early recovery. You look at that letter that Art just read. Do you think that you would be read that first day you walked into a meeting or that first day of recovery that you'd be reading that letter? Right. 26 years later.
Right.
No, but it happened one day at a time. And ripple making those small steps.
Yep.
So it can be done. It's going to be, it's hard, But
Yep.
man, it's worth it. It is
And
worth it. And you're
Art-
worth it. You're all worth
win-
it.
Art wins the backdrop game. Check him out.
I know.
He's
It's
really
his
a
man
fucking-
cave. Yeah.
It's unbelievable. Bethany also said we want to support people, walk alongside them. We can't help anyone; they need to help themselves, and that goes along with like being your own advocate in recovery, and Art's message, seeking out, help, and being humble enough to say I need it. That goes against our nature. Art, you were absolutely a wonderful guest. I'd love to have you back on again. We're gonna do our reading. Hang in there.
But don't wear a bomber shirt.
Bombers.
Oh, you'll have brought me that Saskatchewan by that.
We'll see.
Why are they called the Blue Bombers? What is that in reference to?
No, it's all about the open mind.
No.
Boys,
Why they
open mind is the biggest. Open mind's the biggest.
But why are they
Agreed.
called the Blue Bombers? Like that.
Why are they
That
called
was the question.
Winnipeg Blue Bombers?
What? I don't know.
Really?
I will
think-
chat GPT it later.
I mean,
Okay.
at that point, I don't care. But like, it is funny that there was 6 teams in Canada, and 2 of them were named the Riders.
Rough
or the
Riders?
Rough Riders.
Well, there was a Rough Riders and a Rough
You
Riders.
fucking
Yeah.
Canadians! I'll tell you what. I love
3
you guys.
downs. 3
Bethany,
downs.
thank
baby.
you. Absolutely inspiring. You guys rock. I love you too, Beth.
Thank you.
We're gonna do stuff like this coming up. And this is just to give back. We're allowed to give.
And
gift
that's
certificates.
$50 American, kids, not $50 Canadian. You could not even buy like some juicy fruit with $50 Canadian. So that's
Right.
$250,000 Canadian, $50
Clearly.
American. So and how do they get that, Tim? Please.
I don't know.
tell us.
I haven't done it yet.
Jeez.
We just do
Maybe on
giveaways.
Sunday.
Whatever.
Maybe on
But
Sunday we'll talk
the
about it.
shop is doing good. So, all right, we're gonna read our thing and then we'll get out of here. Thanks everybody for another great show. Just
No, you're so
absolutely
welcome.
beautiful.
Well, we're moving on now.
I'm getting
for
used to the
today.
new stuff.
Yeah, we can tell.
Thanks.
Traveling the open road, just for
Oh, look at little Will. Hi.
Hi,
This is our road to the spiritual growth. Turn the music off. Basic text, page 37. When we arrived at our first NA meeting, it looked like the end of the road to many of us. We weren't going to be able to use anymore. We were spiritually bankrupt. Most of us were totally isolated and didn't think we had much to live for. A little did we realize that as we began our program of recovery, we were stepping onto a road of unlimited possibilities. At first, just not using was tough enough.
Oh, why is it not responding to my input? There you go.
Yet, as we watched other addicts working the steps and applying those principles in their lives, we began to see that recovery was more than just not using. The lives of our NA friends had changed. They had relationships with the God of their understanding. They were responsible members of the fellowship and of society. They had a reason to live. We began to believe that these things were possible for us too. As we continue our recovery journey, we can't get sidetracked by complacency. Well, you know what I'm saying. Complacency.
It's a made-up word. It's not even a real word.
Or dishonesty when we do. We need to recognize that signs quickly and get back on our path. The open road to freedom and growth. Just for today, I am continuing to develop my spiritual, social, and general living skills by applying the principles of my program. I can travel as far as I wish on the open road of recovery.
Oh, you have it, ladies and gentlemen.
Thank you, William.
Good job, Will.
Thank you. My pleasure,
All right,
my
we are
pleasure.
We are talking trash. Trash-podcast.com is our website. If you're early in recovery, get your phone out when they give it to you, when you walk out the door, and download Meeting Finder and NA Meeting Search. Meeting Finder is a little better, but there's tools out there, like Art was saying. There's Zoom. There's all kinds of shit. There's podcasts. For a more immediate effect, get some Narcan. It saves lives. If you're feeling some type of way, call 988. They'll talk you through it. No cops, none of that. Thank you, everybody, for your support for the show. We really appreciate it.
Thank you.
We'll see you on Sunday. And Arthur, thank you so much.
Thank you.
So good.
Woo-hoo.
And Will said, Brian says, good job, Will. All right, everybody. We'll see you on
thank you.
Sunday.